Welcome to our channel Competitive Adda. In the previous class, we discussed small portion or the nomenclature of vehicle aerodynamics. In this class, we discuss the remaining from vehicles aerodynamics. So, vehicle aerodynamics. The chapter is vehicle aerodynamics. The term aero means air, or dynamics means motion. Therefore, aerodynamics is the study of effect of all the wind on the vehicle in motion. That means when vehicle in motion, then some resistance will offer by wind. To avoid this, we have to study this vehicle aerodynamics. When the vehicle is moving, the airflow is depend on two factors. That means vehicle speed and ambient wind. Next, advantages of aerodynamics. Option 1 is more fuel economy. Next option is higher speed. Next is good aesthetic and style appearance. Next, more stability of the car at high speed and reduce noise level. So what are the factors of resistance of an automobile? These are the resistance. These are the three type of resistance. That means RA, RR and RG. And a vehicle moving a moving vehicle is opposed by various force that are known as resistance. For moving the vehicle, the driving force F should be equal to the sum of all the resistance force applied by on it. So the driving force should be equal for moving the vehicle. That's resistance are RR, RA and RG. When F exceeds the sum of all the resistance, then vehicle accelerate, and when F is less than sum of all the resistance, then vehicle deaccelerate. So what is the full form of RA? RA is air resistance, and RR is rolling resistance, and RG is gradient resistance. So individually we discuss on RA and RR and RG. So first one is air resistance, that means RA. This is the resistance offered by air to the movement of a vehicle. That means when a vehicle is moved, then that resistance which oppose the motion of vehicle, mainly caused by wind or air, this resistance is called air resistance. Air resistance has an influence on the performance, ride and stability of the vehicle and depend upon the size and shape of the body of the vehicle. So we have to choose such a vehicle who has low or minimum air resistance by selecting such a body. Next, its speed and the wind velocity. The last term, that means wind or speed of the air, should be taken into account when indicated. Otherwise, it can be neglected. Hence, in general, air resistance. It increases as the square of the vehicle speed, owing to which much importance is given to streamlining and frontal area of modern automobile. That means as the vehicle is obstruct the front part of the vehicle, so we have to maintain such body such that it must be streamlining and front area of the streamlining the front area of the modern vehicle. So in calculating the air resistance, air velocity must be neglected, as we discussed above. Air resistance is formula is RA is equal to Ka into A V square, where Ka is coefficient of air resistance and A is projected frontal area, which unit is meter square, and V is vehicle speed. Its unit is kilometer per hour. Where A is frontal projected area. Next is rolling resistance, RR. The magnitude of rolling resistance depends mainly on, these are the important points which have to remember, and it comes the questions come directly from what are the uh, uh, what are the factors depending upon the rolling resistance? These are the factors which are discussed. These 4 points. These are the nature of road resistance, type of tires, example pneumatic or solid rubber type. Next is weight of the vehicle and speed of the vehicle. These 4 factors depending and affect the body to not move on the road. That means rolling resistance. It measure in kg or newton and express as kg per ton or newton per ton of vehicle weight as a percentage of vehicle weight. So rolling resistance on an average type of road surface is in between 1 to 2% of vehicle weight. So the formula is rolling resistance is Rr is equal to Kr into W, where Kr is rolling resistance constant and W is total weight of the vehicle. Next resistance is gradient resistance Rg. The definition is the resistance due to steepness of the road gradient. Gradient means slope. As the slope increases, this type of resistance is occur and is depend on only weight of the vehicle and the road gradient, not depend upon vehicle speed. You have to remember this point. The gradient resistance depend only on the weight of the vehicle and road gradient, not on the vehicle speed. So gradient resistance Rg is equal to W divided by G, where W is total weight of the vehicle and G is the gradient, and this definition also be written as Rg is equal to W sin theta if gradient is expressed in angular dimension. So theta is inclination. For small value of theta, tan theta is equal to sin theta. That means we can write W tan theta also in place of Rg. Next, moment due to forces. Moment created by force acting on the vehicle. So three types of moments are occur. First one is rolling moment. This is created by crosswind about x-axis, and pitching moment created by drag or lift force about y-axis and reduces the traction of the vehicle. Next is yawing moment. This created by crosswind about z-axis. In this figure, we can clearly show what is pitching, what is rolling, and what is yawing. And these are the 3 perpendicular axes about which wind can rotate or movement the vehicle. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is z-axis. So if the wind will cause the movement about x-axis, then this is called rolling. And if the drag or lift force which causes the movement about y-axis, this is called pitching. And about z-axis, it's called weighing. This is called rolling, this is called pitching, this is called yawing. This pitching can lift the tire or the vehicle upward and downward, so the traction control has been lost. So pitching is very important. And rolling, which causes roll of the vehicle about x-axis, longitudinal axis. And yawing is about the vertical axis. This is called yawing. Next, we discuss on component of an engine. The chapter is component of an engine. Even though reciprocating internal combustion engine took look quite simple. There are hundred of components that have to perform their function satisfactorily to produce the output power. There are two type of engine. Number one is spark ignition engine S1 SI, and the compression ignition engine CI. Let us know through the important engine component and their nomenclature associated with an engine. And the term connected with IC engine, the first term is bore. The inside diameter of cylinder is called bore. Next, stroke. The linear distance along the cylinder axis between two limiting position is called stroke. So this is the layout of an IC engine. This is the piston which can move from this position to this position. This is called bore. The axial movement between inner dead center to top dead center is called bore. Is called stroke. Sorry, bore is called the internal diameter of the engine. This is called bore, and the linear movement between inner dead center to outer dead center is called stroke. Next, top dead center. Topmost position of the piston towards the cover end side is called TDC, top dead center, and bottom dead center is called lowest position of piston in towards the crank side is called BDC. So this is the cover side, so it is called top dead center. It is called bottom dead center or inner dead center. It's top TDC or outer dead center. So clearance volume. The volume contained in the cylinder above the top of piston when piston is at top dead center is called clearance volume. This white portion remaining this volume is called clearance volume, as where some gap between TDC and the upper portion of the cylinder cover plate is called clearance volume. Next, swept volume. The volume swept through the piston in moving TDC and BDC is called swept volume. This top dead center to bottom dead center, the volume is called swept volume, and this gap between TDC and the cover plate is called clearance volume. Next, compression ratio. The ratio of total cylinder volume to the clearance volume. Total volume to the clearance volume is called compression ratio. Next, definition of an engine. An engine is a device which transforms, very important words, that transforms one form of energy to another form. Normally, most of engine convert thermal energy into mechanical energy. Where thermal energy get by fuel or any gasoline material which convert their chemical energy to thermal energy. Later, this thermal energy convert mechanical energy through this arrangement. This engine is called heat engine. This portion is called piston. This is called connecting rod. This is crank. Next, engine component. The major component of engine and their function are briefly described below. First is cylinder block. The cylinder block is the main supporting structure for various components. The cylinder of a multi-cylinder engine is cast as a single unit. This is called a single cylinder block. Cylinder head is mounted on the cylinder block. The cylinder head and cylinder block are provided with water jet in the case of water cooling system, and with cooling fins in case of air cooling system. In air cooling system, only fins, cooling fins are provided, and water cooling system, fluid water cooling is provided. Cooling head gasket is incorporated between cylinder block and cylinder head. The cylinder head is held tight to the cylinder block by number of bolts and studs. The bottom portion of cylinder block is called crankcase, and cover called as crankcase, which become a sump for lubrication oil is fastened to the bottom of the crankcase. The inner surface of cylinder block is machined and finished accurately to the cylinder shape, so it's called as bore or face. Next is cylinder. In the next class, we discuss from remaining topics cylinders onwards. Thank you.